Hello, this is Dan McDonald, and you know me as the Life Regenerator on YouTube. I'm talking to the camera now. Yeah! This is why they call me the Life Regenerator, because I got me a Schrade blade, baby. And the day I got this blade from Amazon was the day I became a man. A real man. Hi! So today, did I scare y'all? This is the coconut almond yogurt, and for the love of God, please don't try this at home. This is a little mat thing that you have outside your door. I carry it around in the back of my car so I can open up coconuts so that it doesn't get onto the dirt and everything like that, and it protects the blade. Like a little chip. I let someone borrow my blade one time. Now there's a little chip. So this is mine. You can borrow one of my other machetes in the collection, but not this one. Bye. And so please don't try this at home. For real, I'm an expert. I've opened thousands of coconuts. And normally I do this on the ground. And it's a really good idea to do that. But since I wanted to make a video and show the whole thing, because everyone's interested in how do you make the yogurt. Well, I make it just like this. So with a nice blade like this, you can get stuff done. Make a little bit of a mess, but not too bad. Take all your pieces. And this makes amazing compost, by the way. Great fiber for the soil to build that healthy microbiome in the soil and the microbiome in your soil. And that's what the coconut almond yogurt is for. It's a delivery mechanism for these living organisms. Right here. You want to inoculate, but then you want to make sure you don't go back to the drinking and the pizzas and the ice cream lifestyle, the no fiber, no prebiotic lifestyle. So you want to inoculate and then use the fruits and vegetables to keep that process going. So that once these get down in there and push all the bad stuff, these are the cops. And those are the cops are pigs. No, cops are good because these fools over here would be coming up on you, taking your shit. You know what I mean? So cops are good. For the most part, it's a little bit of order in society. So the cops and the robbers, you know what I mean, to keep society safe. That's what we got. So the healthy microorganisms, which a lot of the researchers, I haven't found a lot of information from them yet about that, but you want to make sure that you're, that you're inoculating with the healthy, health. So instead of attacking disease, I guess that's the point of that, attack the disease, fight cancer. What about just, let's all get healthy? Whoa, we never thought of that. But wait, how do we make money off that? You don't. You should pay the doctor after you get your health back, like they do in China, if they're still doing that. Anyways, I'm getting all crazy now. I said I was going to slow down, but I haven't, have I? I'm still all hyped up. So anyways, this is a perfect coconut for this. This is a Kauai coconut. The Thai coconuts work great. So what I'm going to do is just dump this into here with the rest of it. But then I wanted to show how I clear the meat out. And these are Thai coconuts, but they just have the green stuff removed. This is why do those ones, they're white? Why are yours green? Because they took all the green stuff off. And now that those little white ones are just this with none of the green stuff on the outside. So have no fear, all you watching in the YouTube village, Asian markets, and get them fresh. If they're not refrigerated, step out the game, because about 2 or 3 of those are going to be nasty. I only go to the ones that I say, they even might be out on the floor in the Asian market. Well, I go and I say to the little dude, hey man, let me get some of those coconuts that are in the fridge. He's like, well, what about those on the floor? I said, so I can feel the lukewarm box. I'm trying to have my coconuts refrigerated. See? so that they're good and they're fresh. And then when you just look for the fresh, there's other places, and you'll know because you'll get them and they'll be consistently fresh and well taken care of. And then the other ones will have all these weird colors and it'll have mold and stuff on the outside and they won't look healthy and they'll be lukewarm. You want refrigerated young Thai coconuts, okay? So step 2, and again, please folks, do not try this at home. Wow, not bad. Usually it takes a couple of whacks. I was particularly insistent on making sure that I got that on the first one. Now I take my little coconut buddy. I don't know where you get these. I don't. It's an icing spatula, so Google that. I don't know. Anyways, very beneficial. Not necessary, but extremely. Watch this. I'm just saying, so when you have one of these, which I got in the mainland and haven't seen any over here, and not really sure where to order them online, I would just buy 5 of them every time I saw one like at a raw food restaurant or something. But see how easy that is? Okay, so you just dig the meat out. You can use a spoon, but it's going to come out in different kinds of chunks. And so what you have when you do this is the wood fiber around the outside edges. And this is where it all comes together, right here, the yogurts. This is where you really start. This is what they've been doing. The difference between the vegetables and the cultured foods traditionally is that you don't know what you're getting. You don't know what strains or what probiotics are going to be growing on those vegetables and the kimchi and the sauerkrauts and all the other pickles and everything else that's been done traditionally for thousands and thousands of years. The beauty of these yogurts is that you know what you're getting. You know what you're growing. So you're getting these strains and you can use them more specifically when you're taking a gamble when you're just fermenting your vegetables on their own, just putting them into a jar and just letting them sit. And I recommend both. Kimchi, kefir. I'm still on the fence with the that stuff, the kombucha. I need to do more research. Have you? What is it?
You have to pretty much make your own.
Yeah.
Everything you find on the market, it hasn't incubated long enough. So there's a certain thing in the industry where they can't actually ferment it to the point that they need to, so the sugars haven't crossed over.
Word.
So it's essentially like an upgraded soda without all the additives, if you want to look at it that way.
See, Ronnie's the guy that I call when there's something I don't know. He should be up here teaching the class, but I don't know how much yogurt you've made though.
No, you're the man.
So with this yogurt here, I gotta just rinse this stuff. You go around the edge here. The camera's hello out there. But you just go around the edge and make sure you get all the wood chips off, and you just clean off. Now, when I make the ultimate, which all the yogurt that I have for this class is all ultimate yogurt. Today, what I've got here, and this is not my placemat, but I go around and I just even this softer fiber. There's the hard wood fiber chips, and you'll find this in the young Thai coconuts as well. You just, if you want to take it to the next level, of course, now I got to rinse that again. But when I make the yogurts myself, and that's why I call my yogurts the gourmet yogurts, because I go through this whole process and I take off all this stuff. You don't have to. It's actually extra fiber, but it's not even really not even the type of fiber that's that beneficial. It's more like a real broom, but even a little bit harsh. I don't think damaging, but not beneficial. So it's a mixture between wood and cellulose. You know what I mean? There's the wood, which is what this is. Like this is like wood, okay? The other is a mixture between, and so you can have a little bit of that. It's not going to hurt your batch, but the cleaner and whiter that you get the meat, the more gourmet it is, the smoother it is, the better, just fluffy, light, just bam, delicious, just yogurt. So I'm going to rinse that again because I touched my mat that's been everywhere. Of course, you could say that maybe I'm being a little too sterile. Maybe we want to come and lick this mat and get our microbiome set to the Kauai island, because this mat's been everywhere on this island. Next step, coconut yogurt. The reason why, see, when I make the videos, it's like I'm staring at the camera and I'm just but with all of you here that haven't never seen this before. So that's why these videos and my videos are always much longer a lot of times. So, because this is the real deal. And I love the real stuff. And I spend hours on YouTube watching these guys teach me stuff because they're experts. They're clinicians, they're researchers, and I'm trying to get the download on these cutting edge pioneers in thinking and medicine that are going everything we've thought before. But see, they can't say, there's certain things they can't say that we can. We can have the conversations that they can't have because they have all their colleagues. They're able to go a little bit on the cutting edge, but no one can really say what needs to truly be said, that we're way the hell off with our so-called healthcare. Way, way the hell off. And we can all see why. And it even goes beyond money into a whole nother level of sinister. And as long as you are walking through and pretending like you ain't seeing what's going on and you don't say anything, you'll be fine. But a lot of my favorite people that I've learned from, and these dudes were geniuses. And I've done nothing but research the last 6 months that I've been gone on the YouTube. And my favorite, most genius people that were right on the cutting edge, that were going to blow the whole thing wide open, especially on the vaccines, gone. Geniuses, beautiful people. And every one of them, guess who they're lined up with? Are you about the money, status, or are you about the truth? Word. Only the truth is going to set you free. Only the truth is going to fill your heart. Only the truth is going to save humanity. Not all these little ideas or people bitching about what everyone else is doing. Love and truth. And that truth goes above and beyond like the diet and all that stuff. It's caring for one another and learning about who and what we really are. You know? So I'll just watch the duality of mankind, and that's fine with me. And I'll have fun here too and do my little puppet show for all y'all. You know what I'm saying? So this is just yogurt, because that's the coconut meat right there. And you just saw what I did. So everyone, you just have to watch, because I'm here with my people, and they're the ones that are creating this field. That's what I love about all of you, is that y'all are vibing super high. Like, I know all of you, most of you, a couple of you I don't, but you are the most highly vibrational people on the planet that I've ever known consistently. And so that's why I'm feeling this radiance of the real thing coming through me. Whereas if it was a group of people that was different and they just wanted to know about the yogurt, there wouldn't be any of this other stuff being talked about, you know? So it's all y'all's fault that you're vibing at the highest levels. So I got to strain this because I didn't strain it. So you just want to make sure you strain it. And then you just, what's the ratio? The ratio is 2 cups of meat, 2 cups of water. You can't screw this one up, folks. And then 1 teaspoon of probiotic. Boom. And then, and after this, we're going to be getting into the food. This is the beginning of the food. This is the beginning of the dressing. This is the beginning of the transcendent and illumination of these amazing foods. When I start to make some cool ranch dressing from this coconut yogurt, you'll be like, oh yeah, I'm glad I came to this class. And then you just blend it. And it just takes about, a minute.
How is that different than the meat and water before?
This one here is much thicker, is all it is.
It's just more meat.
More meat.
And that's what makes it the yogurt.
Yeah, so you've got the kefir, which is just the plain water. Then you've got the kefir, which is just a little bit of meat, just to give it a nice consistency. Then you've got the yogurt, but the principle is all the same. The organisms are taking the sugars and the fats and the amino acids and they're breaking them down and they're populating themselves. So here's the interesting thing about the yogurts and stuff, is that on day 1, it's food for you and a minor inoculation. But when you take some of this yogurt and let it sit for 2 or 3 weeks, it's no longer food for you, but it becomes medicine. It just ripens and ripens. And I had this thing in there for 2 months. And I thought, surely that's nastified to the nth degree. And yet, and then, I'll do it. Do it, soldier, do it. Cheese, it was cheese. And it grew. And there was no more sugars left. And all the proteins and everything was broken down. And all they did was use that to proliferate themselves so that I could take billions and spend $40 and I could take one scoop and take billions, because you have trillions and trillions of these microorganisms living in you, and I can turn these billions into trillions. And then subtle yet powerful, because my immune system has been on point. My nerves are calmer, and I've been saturating myself with these. Just saturate, saturate, saturate. With everything though, not just, I wish I could make a video because it's like, all you do is PURADYME stuff? That's it? Wow, you're a great salesman. And I was like, no, I live this whole lifestyle. Wake up in the morning, 6 in the morning, meditate, yoga, rebound, table, go to the beach, stretch out, study, worship, pray, live. All of it. Juice, raw foods, fasting. You know, it's just like, the question is, and then you listen, God. You talk to God. Well, what is God? God is the most infinite intelligence inside of you. Say, what do I need to do to get healthier today? Because I want to set an example. And I want to feel the freedom that I've never had. As you get more and more sensitive, you see the fear vibe that's been there the whole time. Not that fear is a bad thing, but it's like, are you living from that at a subconscious level? That wouldn't be what my master would say. You know what I'm saying? So those are the underlying, but we have to have a healthy body. And these are the little tricks of the trade, minimizing excessive consumption while maximizing nutrition. It's your mind is going to quiet that hunger signal, but I look at the food everyone's eating, and no wonder they need to eat 500 meals a day and 10 million calories every 2 seconds. I go out and get a moringa shot like that, and I just got more nutrition in one shot than they get in a whole week. Why is that? Well, because that moringa was just juiced that morning. It's got proteins, carbs, and fats. It's in the juice, so I put it in the coconut water. I drink 1 jar of coconut water with moringa juice, and that's a meal. Well, what about your calories? I don't care about that. I want the micro, vibrational, real food. What we really need food for. Which is just the minerals, so that we can be electrical. Question.
So it became like raw coconut cheese. What was the flavor like? Was it like tasted cheese, or
it tasted like,
texture?
Man, like ripe, just sour, just cheesy.
Like, would you put that with some herbs and like a dip?
Yes. But I didn't know it at the time, and I wasn't caring for it. I thought that was, oh, that's a throwaway batch, but I'll just see what happens if I just let it go. And little did I know, and so now I got to wait, I got to do it. Now I've got stuff in the fridge, and now I'm taking, it's more a controlled experiment, because I had it in this jar here, and I only had it half full. And so what I want to do, and that the oxygen I think had an effect. And the lid here, being that it's this type of lid, got some funkiness around it. But yet deep down inside here, so down here it got all liquidy, but then the cheese just kept growing upwards into the heavens. And then I was just like, okay, I got to clean this shit out because it's been in here for months, you know, and it's like, I got to get rid of that cheese experiment. Well, I was like, doesn't smell too bad. Put my finger in there, and I was just like, you know, it took me a minute to think, do I want to do this or not? And when I did it, I knew it was all good, but it was the stuff around it, and it was the lid that threw me off. And then I said, I got to do that again, because it thickened up. All the liquid was down here, and on top of it was just the cheese, man. And
so
so
what would a successful probiotic cheese experiment look like? if you actually want to create cheese?
Well, we can, if I had more meat, you can take just the meat and in fact, I can do that with the hemp seeds. As a matter of fact, I was going to make a video for my daughter, who was also born through C-section and has struggled with her immune system throughout her life. And she loves the probiotics, you know. So I'm going to make her a recipe to show her, because they don't have access to coconuts. And so sunflower seeds, they have access to hemp seeds. And so we'll make a hemp seed cheese and we'll put that on one of these. But what would that look like?
Nutritional yeast, would you put that in?
You could. I think I'm another one of those things where I'm on the fence with the nutritional yeast. You know, okay, I'm getting some thumbs down. It's just great for deliciousness. We all know that. Ronnie?
Well, it depends on the type of nutritional yeast.
Yeah, there's some better ones, the brown ones.
There are. You know what? I'm not into it because I'm totally anti-candida, but it's not. It depends on the person, actually. Some people react, and I think it's not the yeast, the nutritional yeast that's the problem. I think it's a associated mold toxicity, which is usually the problem with like nuts and seeds. Like if they have mold contamination, that's what's triggering off the infection.
Yeah.
Not actually the nutritional yeast, because nutritional yeast for some people is really good. And some people swear by it.
If you can get a high quality, high consciousness company.
What tells me that it's not just that. There's a quality issue.
And that's the thing about all of our foods. By the time your stuff came from God knows where, that's why, hey, I mean, that's why I am so grateful. I know how blessed I am for the people watching the videos on YouTube. They don't have what we got. We go to the market every day. And it was picked that morning. And it's cool to be like the raw vegan guy who only lives off fruits, vegetables, and small amounts of nuts and seeds, because you avoid all that too. But I even, with the nuts and seeds and stuff, it's like, I'll take the macadamia nuts from the island, hemp seeds I have a good trust for, a high quality company, but some of these other things, they're rancid. They weren't cared for along the way. These guys, they're just working. They're like McDonald's. You think he's putting love into your cheeseburger? Not really. So the farm workers are just like, this stuff is just, and then whatever they do, they're not, like when I do everything I do is, I'm thinking, do I want to put those beets in the juice, or do I want to slice them up? Do I need the fiber right now? You know, is this cilantro? Did you spray the cilantro? You know, and if they give me that wonky little yes
Yeah, right.
or no, then it's like, okay, but no. And then when they look at me and they say, no, I do not use spray on my vegetables and fruits. And I get to know all those farmers, and I know who they are now, and I know right where to go, and I know who's doing what, and if it's getting sprayed or not. Because it's all that. The sprays and the lack of care, and is it getting infected with weird stuff, and that's why local food, growing your own and going back to some of these things, but there's that stem in society that's moving us away from that. The industrial, there's 12 companies that run the entire world. We're not supposed to be here doing this, folks. I'm not supposed to be telling you about this stuff. They don't want you to know. Bags, boxes, and cans. Just go to the doctor and get your medicine. It'll all work out. But the problem is it doesn't. And there's a lot of people doing a lot of great things, but it's not catching on because the power of the control of the mind, of all the advertisements and everything that's going on online and everything else. So you have to I don't use this terminology, you have to fight in a way. You have to be awake. You have to wake up. You have to be responsible. And that's it. For everything. And no one wants to do that because that's 24/7, 365. Even when I'm sleeping, it's for an intention. And I don't get a break. But there is a reward for that. It'll guide you back to what you as a soul came here to find. So it's awake. And I know it is quite a daunting task to wake up, stay awake, and continue to say, well, yesterday I wasn't awake as I am today because, man, I just got knocked upside the head with my own karmic choices, you know? So it's just beautiful to wake up. The only thing worse than waking up is just being asleep, man. And so responsibility, and this is why it's like, I'm glad you all came here because, I mean, you only paid $20 or whatever, but at least I know that you all came here because you wanted to hear what I had to say. But I don't go around preaching or anything like that because you all know that a lot of it falls on dead ears. You know, grandma or whatever, mom, that's like that stuff in that can with all that weird stuff in it. No, this is Slim Fast. My doctor told me to do it. It's really great. Or whatever. And you're kind of like, well, you know, yeah, but it's also not really very good for you. And it's in plastic and it's got a lot of funky heavy metals and it doesn't digest. And so it's just like, yeah, right. So the truth about the vegetables and the fruits and the simplicity and these long-winded dissertations on hopefully being able to just affect a change, because I don't want to let all this love that I have for just the truth and this desire to just suck everything up on YouTube. That's the only reason that the technology is any good to me, is all the videos I watch and all the research I get to do. You know, other than that, it's like, hey, everyone, love. We have this joke, love and light. Everyone looks so great on Facebook, and then you see them in real life. It's like, oh, that's not you. You know what I mean? So, and then it's all, then you have, there's so much weight on your shoulders because you know that perfect picture, you had the lighting just right, and then everything, and that's all those ones you put up, but never the ones where you're like, oh, you know. And then so we have this thing where you're trying to live up to that, and that was what was literally killing me. Because I've been through a lot and I got a few wrinkles on my face, and you know, I get the good pictures too, but then it's just like, oh, you're supposed to be a raw vegan, you're supposed to be floating around with the angels and everything else and perpetually youthful. Well, I wasn't a raw vegan before that. So, and that leaves a lot of scars. The drugs and the vaccines and the stress and the fear and all the things we've been through. And so just authenticity. See, these are the real things. These yogurts and stuff are off the hook. But the real stuff, that's where the direction I think I'll go, because how strongly I feel about it. And maybe it's just this particular audience and I'll get into another place and it'll be like, oh, well, here's these wonderful little kale chips or whatever, and I won't even mention any of this other stuff. You know, but this is a very powerful group. What did you say?
Highly unlikely.
I don't think you can keep much shut with this.
Well, there's just a silent truth. And the raw foods feeds your brain. The living foods with the living hydrogen, it's the sunlight of God. And when you eat those raw foods all day, every day, that's all that I eat. And drink the juices and get all those things and think very consciously about it. And my mind is going, and then other people that are like, well, you know, this guy's way out of there and he's like crazy or whatever. And you're like, am I crazy? I mean, all I see is light. I am condensed light, and now what? You know, now what do I do? I'm just like this infinite field that collapsed down into electrons and atoms down into molecules and molecules into cells, and now I'm like, well, now I'm trying to go back and do everything I can. I'm not trying. I am going back into the light, and that's what's clearing and cleaning and brushing everything away that stands in the way of the divinity. And that's what I hope to be able to, that's what my prayer is to be like, I know all of you are that too, because you're such bright lights and you all affect me in such a positive way. Every one of you. I've met all of you, and except for a couple people here, and you are just as much of a positive influence on me as I hope to be on you. But to this camera, to the people that, hey, this guy's pretty cool, he's got great recipes, and then maybe they can get that, I say one thing that makes them want to look at their own heart and learn to love their own self. Then these videos mean something. One person, one mom who decides to do it differently and not get vaccinated, or somebody that's like, I'm going to eat more raw foods, I'm going to eat more vegetables, I'm doing it. And maybe their heart will blossom like mine, to where I have this one thing that I'm here to do and be. You know, and sometimes I feel like the world is just a distraction, you know, but I've got my beautiful daughters and my friends, so I go in and out of this vacillation. And so, tell me what time it says on there. You can flip it around. And then we can call that good. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, it's just like